The reopening of America, all 50 states easing restrictions by tomorrow, and authorities across this country know there are risks. So do American workers trying to head back to work.
Tonight, frustration boiling over. Connecticut salon owners protesting after learning today the state's plan to reopen tomorrow doesn't include them.
The rug got pulled out from underneath us.
With Connecticut beginning phase 1 plans, every state in the country is now in some level of reopening. In fact, ABC News looked at 21 states that eased restrictions 2 weeks ago or earlier and found no major change in hospitalizations or deaths. In New York City, flashing lights in subway cars could help the city move toward reopening. MTA officials testing out a new pilot program that uses ultraviolet light to disinfect subway cars and buses.
The use of ultraviolet light in a laboratory setting has eradicated the COVID-19 virus.
Thousands of Americans converging in crowds at beaches and bars, scenes like this playing out across the country. And with many ignoring social distancing, the mayor of New York vowing to crack down.
We're not going to tolerate people starting to congregate. It's as simple as that. And if we have to shut places down, we will.
This weekend, the NYPD visiting thousands of businesses and public parks, carrying 6-foot banners, maneuvering through crowds.
I'm excited to see the world kind of move back. You know, we're never going to have the old normal. We'll have a new normal.
Tonight, Health and Human Services Secretary Alex Azar discouraging reckless gatherings, but saying some level of irresponsible behavior is inevitable.
I think in any individual instance, you're going to see people doing things that are irresponsible. That's part of the freedom that we have here in America.
And this weekend, thousands flocking to beaches in Los Angeles as they open for the first time in weeks. Many ignoring the ban on sunbathing, some not wearing masks, which are required when you're out of the water.
We're not going to get close to other people, so it's chill. It's chill. But I do wear masks where I need to.
California's governor highlighting how the process of reopening the economy is far more difficult than shutting it down.
The question is, how do you toggle back and make meaningful modifications to the stay-at-home order? And that's where we're now in this point of friction and a lot of frustration.
Ohio's governor struggling with that same balancing act. Cases in the state continue to plateau, but this weekend crowds flooded several outdoor bars in spite of restrictions.
This is really probably the most crucial time, the most dangerous time, because we are opening back up.
Florida continuing its reopening process tomorrow, welcoming back gyms, expanding restaurant capacity, and allowing vacation rentals, which are so vital to the economy, to once again host guests, though the governor says not everybody can visit.
If you tell me you're going to rent them out to people from New York City, I'm probably not going to approve that.
As the country peels back restrictions, Monday, Massachusetts will become the 49th state to start reopening. And businesses fighting to survive are adapting to the new normal. New Orleans nail salons taking customers with safety barriers and restaurants reopening with strict social distancing. Fishtails restaurant in Maryland going even further, rolling out new social distancing tables. And for the first time in 10 weeks, NASCAR is back without fans. Drivers getting their temperatures checked. The roar of the engines speeding around Darlington Raceway for the first time in 10 weeks. Americans taking the warm weather as an invitation to leave home, crowding together by the thousands in parks and flocking to beaches.
Talking to friends, we're having a good time, making the best of it.
In Belmar, New Jersey, hundreds lining up, many ignoring social distancing, and they're not even going to the beach, just trying to get passes for the summer season.
Thank you. Thank you.
We've been down at the Jersey Shore like the past 25 years, and nothing ever like this.
While many public beaches are still closed, state beaches in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and Delaware will open Memorial Day weekend, with some restrictions like no concession sales to try to keep people apart. Hoping to prevent a second spike in cases, NYPD officers handing out face masks on the Coney Island boardwalk. Mayor Bill de Blasio doing the same in Queens. Brooklyn's popular Domino Park, white circles spaced 6 feet apart to promote social distancing. And crowds of people waiting to get into the most popular sections of Central Park. New York City deploying more than 2,000 of what they call social distancing ambassadors, encouraging people to stay 6 feet apart. And across the country, others are testing the boundaries of ongoing restrictions. A New York man who traveled to Hawaii arrested. Authorities accusing him of violating quarantine orders, saying they were tipped off that he repeatedly left his hotel because he posted several beach photos on Instagram.
This is not playing Russian roulette. This is playing with a gun that's fully loaded and cocked.
The original Pancake House in Norco, California is defying its state's orders, reopening its dining room with workers wearing gloves and masks and blocking off booths to create space.
Our employees and businesses literally are live paycheck to paycheck on a best case scenario. You can see the dining room right now. We're decently busy.
At least 48 states now easing restrictions. In Ohio, where restaurants can now reopen outdoor areas, the Cincinnati bar's patio quickly filling up on its first night back.
And they're off.
And tonight in neighboring Kentucky, an institution having to adapt.
We wanted to do this in a very responsible way.
Historic Churchill Downs resuming racing with the seats empty, believed to be the first races with no spectators in the site's 145-year history.